Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report Alamo Bowl edition. Right here, Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from the garage on Main Street in Norman. Mark, the Alamo Bowl coming up. And, you know, before we start talking about the Alamo Bowl, the whole bowl structure after this year changes next year.
Well, it will go to the 12-team playoff, and so yes, you're going to have more bowls involved in the playoff system. So bowl games in general, I think, probably are in a little bit of trouble now with the portal opening up and players potentially transferring out. So it makes it difficult to field a roster. You can have some issues with certain positions and see how that works.
Well, that's certainly going to affect OU. Arizona, I don't know. I don't see that happening as much. It's not, at least it's not in the news, but a lot of news coming out of OU about who plays, who doesn't. And I think that's the biggest thing about the bowl games, that unless you're part of that 12-team playoff, they become less and less important.
Well, that's true. I mean, you have a lot of opt-outs of guys potentially going professional or looking for a better situation. So it's kind of hard to tell, but it is good experience for the younger people on your roster, and a good test. Not the same as it once was, but you can get caught in a position where coaching change really is the biggest problem to have, I think, with the schools. And luckily for Oklahoma, they're not going through that this year.
Well, yeah, not this year, but the best advantage for a current team in a bowl structure is they get those 3 extra weeks of practice.
Right.
So those young guys that you were talking about get 3 more weeks of trying to prove themselves for next year through that bowl practice.
Well, which will be a big help for Oklahoma, as young as they are in certain positions.
Well, and we'll talk about who's there and who's not next here on the Oklahoma Sports Report Alamo Bowl edition.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites. Morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wonderfolk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wonderfolk Gin, Wonderfolk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wonderfolk Spirits. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report, Alamo Bowl edition. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from the garage on Main Street. Burgers and beer, the two things that go hand in hand with college football. Burgers and beer, and you can't get it any better than here at the garage. And there's also 7 other garages around the metro area. Look them up, come in and have a wonderful, wonderful burger. The best burgers in town, hands down, and always good cold beers. Mark, we just kind of touched on it a little bit. OU, we don't really know who's in, who's out. I mean, there's such a fluctuation right now in college football with the portal. Right now, we mentioned the last show, it's portal season. People are going in, people are coming out, going out, of programs. Right now, OU's certainly in a state of flux.
Well, okay. I think most importantly for OU is that we can talk specific position groups. Skill position-wise, they're in really good shape. I think running back, you've got some coming in, and you feel pretty good about that position, so I don't know that they have to be very active in the portal. Offensive line and defensive line is a little bit of a problem. Caden Green put his name in the portal, and he was Oklahoma's most experienced returning offensive lineman as a freshman that expected to be a pretty good player. So they're going to have to really bolster the offensive line. They're losing the entire starting
You know what it reminds me of? There was an old Casa Bonita. It was a Mexican restaurant in Oklahoma City. And whenever you needed service, you just ran the flag up.
Yeah.
That's like the players now are running their flag up and seeing how much money they can get out of the NIL from somebody else. And then they go back to their original team and go, okay, I got $1 million over here. Can you do $1 million too?
Right. And Caden Green is from Lee Summit, Missouri, and Missouri's been very active in recruiting players out of the portal or paying those guys, and they've done a nice job. So they've turned their season around a year ago from where they were, I think, won 6 games to winning 10. And so that's Oklahoma and Missouri's gone head-to-head against for some recruits. And
that's state-sponsored NIL. I mean, how do you fight state-sponsored? The Missouri legislature passed a bill that said if you sign with the Missouri State School, you can get paid immediately. So whether you're a high schooler, even a sophomore, or a transfer, like, whomever they might get, the legislature said, okay, we'll start paying you immediately. That's state-sponsored.
Right. I think it's a smart move, and it's helping them. There's really not another Power 5 school in the state of Missouri. So
they have no competition for Missouri players.
Right.
But it's, irregardless of where he goes or regardless of where he goes, I mean, there's a state of flux, and you just hit on it. The two big factors for OU is they're losing all their defensive linemen and they're losing all of their offensive linemen starters.
So they've got to hit it. I mean, they've got to find those guys. And I think both sides of the ball are equally important. There's more highly touted defensive linemen coming in with David Stone, but you really can't expect a true freshman to impact an SEC
he's not that big. Yeah, when you go in the SEC, you're seeing 50-year seniors that are 23, 24 years old, 350, and been in the weight room for 5 years. I mean, a true freshman is going to have a hard time, even if you're a superstar like David Stone, to be able to hold your own. So they've got to go out and find and identify and bring in players that are plug and play.
No question. And again, on both sides of the ball, that's going to be key. You have to have some experience going into the next league.
Okay, so let's talk the other side, on the positive side. Dylan Gabriel has decided to go in the portal, and good for him. He gave his 2 years at OU and did a great job. He's going to Oregon. I happen to have a son that lives in Eugene, so I will get to see Dylan Gabriel in person at Austin Stadium. But at the same time, it's given an opportunity for Jackson Arnold, a 5-star recruit, to come in, and he's getting all the snaps going into this bowl game, which has got to be a positive for OU.
I think so. He got some play this year early on. Didn't play a whole lot of the conference season during that, and Oklahoma fans are really excited about what he can bring to the table. You got to protect him. He's a big kid and strong. He's got a great arm that can throw the deep ball. I think that will be an advantage that he has over Dylan Gabriel. Experience he will lack a little bit, but overall talent, he is, I think, fits in the category of some of the great quarterbacks in Oklahoma.
Well, and to Dylan Gabriel's credit, he did a good job, but on almost 80% of his deep balls, he threw short because he didn't have the arm strength. That's not going to be a problem for Jackson Arnold.
No, he'll have the arm strength and the receivers, to run underneath those deep passes. Dylan Gabriel, though, really, I thought improved from year 1 at Oklahoma to year 2, and the Oregon offense ought to be just perfect for him. It's heavy on the run. I think he'll be able to run the football some. He's going to get to go home and play in front of his family in Hawaii, which will be a cool situation, and I think that all Oklahoma fans will be pulling for him.
Hey, I'm going to leave this segment with good news for OU. Billy Bowman, Danny Stutzman have decided to come back for another year. That's good news for OU, and we'll talk more about that as we go into the Alamo Bowl preparation when we get back here on the Oklahoma Sports Report.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alamo TED. Alamo TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills, like tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill, tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alamo TED. Alamo TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills, like tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill, tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. And welcome back. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from the Garage on Main Street in Norman, the home of burgers and beer. The best burgers, coldest beer in town at the Garage. 7 of them around the metro area. Find a Garage. You get a great burger, you get cold beer, and you get a chance to watch any sporting event that you wish on the TVs. Also, are you looking for a present for your dad, your brother, your uncle? Hey, Royal Pipes and Tobacco on Boyd Street and Jenkins in Norman. Great place. Cigars, pipe tobacco, pipes, all the best presents for. They got lighters, they got all kinds of stuff for your dad, uncle, brother, whatever. Royal Pipes in Norman. Mark, Coach Jedfish from Arizona. They won their last 6 games. This is a quality opponent on a momentum strike. It's going to be a tough game for OU because it looks like Arizona will be motivated in this game?
They've got a freshman quarterback that really came on and played well for them this year after an injury, and they were the surprise team of the Pac-12. They played really well in some of the games early on, and we knew that the Pac-12 was going to be tough because of the quarterbacks in that league going into this season. You had two of them up for the Heisman Trophy in Bo Nix and Michael Penix, and then Caleb Williams, who won the Heisman Trophy a year ago but didn't even get invited to New York this time. So they had a tough league, and they competed well.
That's something that OU fans can thank Lincoln Riley for. The only guy that could keep Caleb Williams from winning another one was Lincoln Riley. So
I mean, I don't know what happened.
That's my spiel on Lincoln Riley right now.
Well, or you could say Lincoln's defense helped two quarterbacks get to New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those other two teams. But Arizona was not expected to have a good season this year, and it's a program that's really struggled. The resources aren't the same. It's a basketball school. Their basketball team's number 2 in the country right now, but they put together a really good football team, and I think their future is bright with him. He's going to stay there. You know, I don't know how long he'll be at Arizona. I think going to the Pac-12 or going to the Big 12 will help Arizona a little bit because they'll have a chance to really compete next year and be at the top of the league.
Well, you know, it changes the whole landscape of the Big 12. I mean, before Arizona, who cares about Arizona? Well, now that they've won 6 straight and they're coming on a high, it's going to change the landscape with OU and Texas going to the SEC. But they've got a good team. They're highly motivated, and that, to me, in a bowl game, that differentiates about winning and losing. Which team, if you can identify in a bowl game, which team is more motivated or has motivation, you can generally find out who's going to win or identify who's going to win.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the buy-in and how much you focus and whether you're going down to San Antonio to enjoy the city, the Riverwalk and all that, or to prepare for the game. I'd say I call the motivation of this game about a wash. You know, each team's got a young quarterback that wants to play and I think show what they're capable of going forward next year. And so I think Oklahoma enters this game with some motivation. I think Arizona will too.
I look at it though, and you look at Arizona has more cohesiveness. You know, OU is being, you know, they're all the changes of moving around, moving parts and stuff has kept it from being totally focused on this game. And so, you know, if Brent Venables can refocus his squad and say, look guys, no matter who's here, who's not, we're going to go to war with who we got, and we're going to win this game, will be a big difference. It's kind of like when Lincoln Riley left after the first Alamo Bowl. They went down and showed Oregon what a cohesive squad and a motivated squad can do.
Well, I think in that game, Oregon really had a lot of opt-outs and guys that were going pro or guys that were going to transfer. And with Oklahoma, most of their talented guys are back except the quarterback. But again, you've got a guy that you really want to see in Jackson Arnold, what he can do. There's not going to be the drop-off that there would be with some other teams. So I think you're going to get a pretty solid effort from Oklahoma.
Well, you know, and then you look at it, they have a new offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator. He's going to be calling the offense for the first time probably in 4 or 5 years. And so they're looking at, okay, how do we incorporate a new coach, a new quarterback, a questionable offensive line into it, and how we take advantage of our skill position players at the same time. So to me, if they can solve all those questions, they have a good chance to win the game.
Well, I think Seth Littrell would be a natural fit to call the plays. I mean, it's something that I think he's capable of doing, having done it before, been a head coach, called offense while he was the head coach. So OU won't suffer that big of a step back in that spot.
Well, I got to hand it to our friend Cale Gundy. When Lincoln Riley left, they put Cale Gundy as offensive coordinator. He called a great game down in the Alamo Bowl.
I thought he did too. I thought he showed some patience, and I think Seth will have a similar type game.
Well, and that's what you're hoping for if you're an OU fan. You're hoping for, you know, in these 3 weeks, they have a chance to kind of get an idea and a game plan that they think will work against this Arizona defense. I think it finished at 26th in the country, which is pretty good playing in the Pac-12 with those kind of offenses. We are at the Garage on Main Street in Norman. Come by, have a good burger. No, not a good burger. My mistake. A great burger here at the Garage. Cold beer, great burgers, and all the trimmings. Lots of other food too if you like all of the other things. Come in to the Garage on Main Street. And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report, Alamo Bowl edition. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from the Garage on Main Street in Norman. And don't forget, if you're looking for a great way to buy a present for your dad, your uncle, your brother, whomever, Royal Pipes and Tobacco, Boyd and Jenkins in Norman. Great cigars, tobacco pipes, wonderful things and wonderful gifts also available at Royal Pipes for Christmas. Mark, what does the OU game plan look like under Seth Luttrell going into this? There's co-offensive coordinators, Joe John Finley and Seth Luttrell, with Seth calling the plays. What do you think that game plan is going to look like?
Well, I don't think there'll be a lot of change. I do think that Seth will probably use a little bit of quarterback run game. That's what he did at North Texas when he was the most successful out of the quarterback, Mason Fine.
Again, I say Mason Fine. He was not wanted by anybody except North Texas, and he turned into a great quarterback down there for 2 years.
He started for 4 years.
4 years.
At North Texas, and he was undersized, but he did run some. He was a mobile quarterback. So Jackson Arnold has the ability to do that. He's a big kid. So I think we'll see some of the quarterback run game. I don't think we'll see as much side to side. I think we'll see a lot more going north and south as what we saw sometimes.
No jet sweeps? Oh, no, no jet sweeps?
Probably less jet sweeps. The fans do not like the jet sweep.
Well, I can raise my hand on that. And when you're running sideways, you're giving everybody a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more of a north-south guy. Let's get up there and go.
Well, it's Seth's background as a fullback, and so I think he's going to.
He's a north-south guy.
It'll work well with Coach Beanbow, and I think they will try to beat this.
Speaking of a job that's cut out and is going to have to earn his salary is Coach Beanbow. He's got to replace his entire offensive line, and he's got to do it pretty quick and get a cohesive unit on the field of the Alamo Bowl.
They will have some of the players back for the Alamo Bowl on the offensive front, but there's not much depth there. So, and remember, it was about the same situation a year ago. They played a lot of new faces in the bowl game against Florida State and did have some success against a really good defensive front.
Well, that was one of the things that kind of lent itself for hopes coming up was when they played Florida State well. Anyway, OU is less dependent on their defense than their offense going into this game, I think, because they need to see, and the fans want to see, more offense, more of a change, a little bit more excitement maybe than now. Jeff Levy did a great job. I'm taking nothing away from him. He's a great offensive coordinator, but I think Seth Luttrell, as you said, will come in and do a good job also. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Final Four. All
right,
Michigan, Alabama. What a great matchup for the first game. I mean, I love number 1, number 4.
Yeah, I think Jaden Milroe was one of the most improved players in the country. If you remember, you go back to the third week of the season, he got benched after the Texas game when Alabama played South Florida. They quickly found out, well, hey, we don't have anybody better than Jaden Milroe. They put him back in, and he led them to victory in the SEC championship game. So stopping a mobile quarterback is a big challenge for a traditional defense like Michigan. They're very good, but Alabama, I think, could feel pretty confident in this game. And I think it's a great matchup. It's a 1-point spread, so anything can happen in this game. It could go either way.
Well, I'm not a Michigan fan. I don't like, and I'm not an Alabama fan. But I dislike Alabama less than I dislike Michigan.
Okay.
So go Alabama. Go Tide.
You'll be rooting for Michigan. And classic uniform matchup there between these two teams. And like I said, I think maybe that Jaden Milroe might make one more play in that game, and we get Alabama on one side.
Well, J.J. McCarthy, I mean, he went backwards. They held the ball away from him. They wouldn't even open up the offense the last 3 or 4 games for him. Right. I mean, that was, he was a Heisman Trophy potential, and all of a sudden he just went backwards. He digressed.
Maybe a little bit of an injury issue with him, too. And he's projected to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. I've seen he's going in the first round for sure. So this is a different Michigan team. They're not limited to the quarterback.
Can I say this? He's no Tom Brady.
He's going to be picked higher than Tom Brady.
Okay, yeah. The other game, Texas-Washington. Your thoughts?
I like Texas. I think Texas I think that they have proven that their offensive line and defensive line is among the best in the country.
Pizza bet, I said no, okay. A burger. We're here at the garage burger bet. I'm taking Washington.
Okay, I'd like mine with no bun and extra chili on it.
I want the whole mixings. I want everything they can put on a plate on there.
So it just listen, Texas, a physical football team. Went to Alabama, won earlier in the year. Washington, I think, is more physical than a lot of the teams in the Pac-12, but I don't think they're going to be up to the challenge that Texas provides offensive and defensive line. So we're going to have a rematch of what's been we can call it a trilogy now the last 2 years. Texas and Alabama, 2 great regular season games. I think they're going to play for a title like they did in 2000 and
I think Washington beats Alabama, and I think I'm going to go that way instead of Texas.
Washington win the national championship.
Yeah, Washington national champion. So that's my pick, and I'm sticking to it. OU and Arizona. Your thoughts?
I'll take OU.
I'll take Arizona. We got a burger bet going on here. Now I want fries. Now I want everything now. I'm gonna win everything from Mark. Hey, I want you guys to have a Merry Christmas from Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath. We'll see you after the first of the year here on the Oklahoma Sports Report.